And we're live. Just like that. Would not surprise me if I did not see a single soul, though. And we're live at 1440p 60 as well. That's awesome. Okay, let me just get that announcement out. All right, announcements out. Sweet. Okay. Again, I have not done this in a really long time, so I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest with you. You know, there's a lot of people who don't use face cams or hand cams when they stream. A lot of those latency YouTubers definitely don't use face cams and hand cams, I can tell you that much. For some reason, it's hard capping me at 6,000. I don't know why. It should be at 9,000 bitrate, but whatever. Live chat. Okay. All right, cool. Minimize. I just say we hop right into it. No? Let's hop into it. Oh, good golly. Can I lower the bitrate? I don't think my stream likes me, no? That was a lot of dropped frames. That was a lot. Oh, it's back. Okay, cool. I was like, that was weird. I wonder why it dropped frames so much. All right, well, we're back. Encoder overload. Please consider using a different encoder. How about no? Beautiful. Love to see the FPS. Looks amazing. My ping is excellent. No lag to be found here. Looks amazing. Everything is just the way it should be. I have thought about getting paid services, but like latency optimization is not my forte these days. I kind of just play games and hang out with people, and I've kind of abandoned the days of latency optimization. Also, is my stream dropping frames, or is that just a facade? Because OBS keeps telling me that my stream is dropping frames, and I don't know whether to believe it or not. Personally, I don't believe it, but that's just me. So because if it is dropping frames, I would like to know. Subscribed since 2022 when the ping scaled from 1,000 to 1,000 every 10 seconds. Not really sure what you meant by ping to 1,000 every 10 seconds, but I appreciate you being subscribed and watching for as long as you have. That's pretty awesome. Yo, what up, everybody? Got some good people in here today, a good amount of people. It's probably because I'm using face cam and hand cam. I usually don't do that. Man, does this ever feel good. Lock on pistol. Oh, these suck. I remember these. So right now I'm just testing endgame here. This is like the last I will ever touch my system. I'm not touching it again. And it's just gonna stay the way it is. Ooh. Shimmering shadows. It's going pretty good. I'm just trying to come back to YouTube after like ages, and I figured what a better way to do that than stream, you know? No, I'm live on YouTube right now and YouTube only. That is because I feel like my YouTube audience is a lot more than my Twitch audience. Plus, Twitch does not allow VP9, and VP9 looks better and runs better for people who watch live streams The latency is a bit higher, but I'm willing to sacrifice the latency hit for better quality. So, plus I can stream at my native resolution instead of having to scale down like I do on Twitch to 1080p. So that's another reason why I stream on Twitch. Nice. Dude, I freaking love this gun. It's like the best gun in the game, for sure. That's 100% a bot. That was not a real person. That's a real person, though. Nice tracking. That's definitely a bot, too. Damn, what a bot game, dude. I was expecting to not have a bot game, but I got a bot game, as per usual. Yep, nothing changes. It's always the same. Every time I play Fortnite, it's always bot games, bro. A legendary hunting rifle. Don't mind if I'll take that. That's pretty good. All right, check this out. See any frame drops? I sure don't. No frame drops. 0. It's just a thing of beauty. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Oh, God. I shouldn't have done that. Ah, you son of a bitch. And I'm dead. Bro, I fucking hate this sword thing, dude. The sword thing is like the dumbest thing that they ever added to the game. Period. The sword needs to go. Like, it's so stupid. I actually hate the sword so much. It's the dumbest thing they ever added. Period. For those of you asking for my settings, or wondering about my settings, DirectX 12, TAA, a mix of medium and high settings. Nothing special. The reason I'm using 75% render resolution is because I have a 1440p monitor. But my graphics card has trouble getting over 200 FPS at 1440p, at least in Fortnite. It's not specifically a 1440p card. It is a RTX 3060. So it can do 1440p, just not at some specific settings. My PC is... oh, wow. My FPS just dropped a ton there. I wonder what happened. Alt-tab bug. Love it. You know, I really should make a command for that. I do actually have a document. Let me get that for you. Here is my my PC. Everything that is in my PC is on this Google Doc here. So you can see my entire specs and my entire list. That is everything. The current bitrate is 6,000 something something something. We recommend 13,500. Well, guess what? I can't do that. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube Engine, for telling me that my internet sucks once again. I mean, like, 300 FPS is still pretty respectable. I don't like performance mode because performance mode has pop-in issues. And also has, like, massive lag spikes. So that's why I tend to stay away from performance mode. Also, the visuals just look so much better in DirectX 12 than inside of performance mode. Latency is also better in DirectX 12 compared to performance mode. Oh God, it may be a bad idea to start here. I need a gun immediately. First thing. There's gonna be somebody here. I know there will be. There always is. They're going to see that train and they're going to be like, ooh, somebody's trying to get something. I want to get something too. So then they'll they'll come and get you. Mm-hmm. I also have an overclock on this graphics card. It is overclocked just a little bit. I overclocked it to 2040 megahertz on the core and plus 500 on the memory, just so I could get 8,000 megahertz memory clock. Other than that, it's nothing special. And that's what you get, bro. That's what you'll get. Ooh, they had a railgun. The railgun's kind of overrated. Hell yeah. That's a good start. I like that. You know what? I will throw that right here. Screw it. Not sure where that went. That's funny. Okay. You're gonna make a video of the tweaks. Well, it's basically just to make people shut up in my comment section because they don't want to shut up for some reason about tweaking. Even though I have said on multiple occasions that it doesn't matter. It legitimately doesn't matter. Like, just get used to your PC. Stop focusing on latency and focus on like getting used to your PC and getting used to the game. That's the main conception of latency in general. It's like you only should tweak it if it's like as bad, like to the point where it makes it genuinely unplayable. You shouldn't really tweak it unless you actually have to. In my case, I have a PC that's good enough to play, so I don't tweak it as much as other people do. And another thing that's also a common misconception is that people think that the Xbox game bar causes a massive amount of latency and frame drops is fully untrue. It is absolutely untrue. In fact, Xbox game bar will actually boost your performance. A lot of people don't realize that and they get rid of it. But on modern processors, the Windows scheduler is built in directly to the Xbox game bar. So your processor is communicating through Windows with the Xbox stuff. And if you remove the Xbox stuff, your performance will decrease, especially on the X3D processors. It's stupid that I still see a bunch of tutorials online that say you need to disable all this stuff. Well, you don't. You just don't. You can have a good experience and still have good latency without disabling a crap ton of stuff that probably would in the end hurt your computer. Where can I find your guide? I have yet to make a updated guide, and I think after I make one more video about it, I'm just never making one again because I get so pissed and so upset when people tell me that they still want more tweaks. Like, everybody's system is different. Just because mine has better performance doesn't mean that yours is going to have better performance or better latency. The biggest thing that I saw a difference from, personally, is BIOS tweaking. You optimize your BIOS on your actual computer. Now, laptop, that's kind of hard to do unless you have an extremely high-end laptop. But on a regular old PC, it's pretty easy. The main things I fix are the RAM. So I tweak my RAM and my latency and that. I turn off all power saving mode and all power saving features in the BIOS, pretty much all of them, so that my processor doesn't idle and like take performance and stuff like that. I do a little bit of power plan tweaking, but it's only like 2 settings nowadays. It's like nothing special. It's just stopping interrupts from happening on the operating system. And it's kind of sad that it's come to a point where people think they need to like absolutely obliterate and destroy their system in order to gain performance, when that is not the case. You can have good performance and you can also have good latency. So the 2 BIOS settings that I change typically are disabling C states and disabling gear down mode and power down mode for the RAM. Because gear down and power down cause latency. And it's not a good idea to disable it if you're not sure your memory is 100% stable. But if you know for a fact, without a doubt in your mind, that your memory is 100% stable, then you can disable those gear down mode and power down mode for the RAM. and it will make a significant difference in latency, system-wise, like just in general on the operating system. But again, if your RAM is not 100% stable or it's already being pushed to the maximum, I don't recommend it. As for the C state thing, it's literally just a setting inside of BIOS. You just disable the CPU C state in the CPU options. And if you're on an X3D processor on the 5000 series, by the way, the base frequency of these processors is actually 3 gigahertz, which is super low. So I actually set the base speed to 3.6, and there's a place where you can do that in the BIOS. It slipped my mind. I'm not really sure where it is, but you can change the base speed to 3.6 gigahertz and it'll speed it up a little bit. I am dead. Thank you for making me talk about that. It's almost impossible to stream and play this game at the same time because when people ask questions in chat, then I don't have time to play or respond. I mean, you can go wacko crazy on the settings and turn them all the way to low, but I like my game to look a little bit good at the same time while also having decent performance. Now, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to open this up while I'm streaming. Just for shits and giggles. Just because I know there's going to be some person out there who's going to be asking me, what is your latency and latency mod? What is it? What is it? Typical. Like what you would normally see while streaming, while having game launchers open, while having Discord open. No huge spikes. It's just pretty normal and average. What was I going to look at again? All right, I was looking at what's causing all those hard page faults. System, which is normal, I guess, but it doesn't really hop above 300 half the time. It stays around 100, 300 usually. It never goes any higher than that. And that's barely doing anything. So, like, yeah. Okay. You know what? I could try 1440. Let's try 1440 and just see. Is there any difference? It's about 100 FPS difference. And the game still looks amazing. So, I'll take it. Let's go to the fields. I don't go to the fields very often. I'm having a problem where I play Fortnite and I freeze mid-game like 10 seconds. That to me sounds like a system bottleneck. So you either have a lot of interrupts happening or one part of your system is causing a lot of interrupts to happen. Typically, lag in Fortnite is caused by the CPU not having enough oomph to play the game. But there can be cases where the GPU may cause lag. But it is a very rare case that you will see a GPU cause lag in Fortnite. But if you're on a lower end system and let's say you have a 4-core CPU that's not very powerful and only gets up to like 3.9 gigahertz, yeah, that would be a system bottleneck. If you had a graphics card in there that was faster than that CPU, and that would cause FPS to drop mid-game or like freeze and have heavy interrupts for a second or two. So I'm below 100 FPS at 1440. So I have to go back down to 75% render resolution in order to get my FPS back, because 75% is 1080. So this is 1080p. So at 1080p, I can get pretty good FPS. Not great, but pretty good. It's decent enough. Nice bots, bro. I love bots. Well, that was stupid. That was like the dumbest bot match I've ever seen in my life, bro. Like, actually so dumb. And there's more bots yet, I bet. Oh, this one doesn't have a scope. I like mine to have a scope, usually. And see, here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand, but if you downscale from your native resolution, let's say, for my example, it's 1440p, and then you use a render resolution of 75%, it's actually really good. Like, the game will still look amazing because you're downscaling rather than using a upscaling method from, let's say FSR or something like that. Another bot. Damn, bro, these bots, they are just everywhere. Like, everywhere. You cannot avoid them. Actual bot, bro. Didn't even try and shoot at me. And look, it's running away. You see that? That's how you know it's a bot. It runs away. If it runs away, then it's a bot. Tracking's on point today, though. You know, I've been thinking about making a YouTube video about mouse acceleration because there's a lot of YouTubers who actually went and tried using mouse acceleration just for like a month or something to see how it would affect their aim. And some of them ended up sticking with it and actually liking it. And I found that ironic. But there's nothing inherently wrong with mouse acceleration. It's actually used a lot. And believe it or not, it's actually really good for racing games. If you like use a wheel or something, having mouse acceleration on in Windows actually makes it so that your movements are so much smoother with a wheel. And a lot of people still disable it, which is crazy to me. I personally don't really play racing games, but for friends that I've had who play racing games, they say to have it on just because it makes it a much better experience. Inherently, I would say what I'm playing right now is going to be considered my end game. I don't think personally I would use anything more than this. This is the best it'll get for me. I can't really get any better than what I have right now. Except I guess I could upgrade the GPU in my system, but latency-wise and feel-wise, it's about as good as it's going to get. You can't really get any better than this. So, please give me more ammo. Thank you. I want to have more ammo for my favorite gun, which is this gun. Ooh. More. Ooh, a shield. Suppressed rifle. Or suppressed pistol. I think I might actually... Nah, that sucks. I will take the jug, though, or the keg. The keg will actually become useful. Like, it'll become useful later. Just sucks about how I don't have a scoped one. I like having a scoped gun. I recently got back into Fortnite. I hadn't played it very often, and then I decided to play it, and it was like very exciting for me to come back to it, especially after I found like my end game system configuration where I don't really want to change anything at all anymore. I mean, if you want to use it as a base, it's good. But here's something that I don't think anybody in this stream knows I'm using right now. And I'm about to show you using a special display capture method that's called capture. Check it out, baby. Xbox game bar. And remember what I said. It's a part of the scheduler. So it actually is helping my performance right now. But only if, all right? Only if this registry value here, the split threshold separation has to be set to 2. Or otherwise, you don't get the kind of performance out of the game bar that you would expect. Actually, using the old display capture method is kind of funny because you get a big, gigantic border. I'll go back to the automatic capture method just because I don't like that border personally. All right, I'm back in game. Yeah, back in game. All right, cool. Bro, where is everybody? I swear, like, half this lobby has got to be bots. Also, it just feels so nice to have, like, a decent ping finally. I'd been chasing a decent ping for years, and the thing that I found out was you basically just have to ignore it. Like, just... It's all in your ISP. So, as long as you keep your ISP at, like... If you find a decent ISP or you complain to your ISP about ping, then you'll have good ping. What the hell is this, bro? Well, they aren't attacking me, so it must be all right. I need more ammo desperately, bro. Desperately. Like I'm on a ammo deprivation here, bro. Like I need ammo. Oh, did that one have a scope? Ah, no. Wait, it does? Does it? No. Ah, man. Well, that sucks. All right. Well, we got this, so I can get rid of that. And I'll take that. And also take that. Dude, will they ever stop? Jeez. I don't think they will. I think they're forever stuck. Because, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with the default SVC split threshold. And a lot of people think there is, even though there isn't, which is hilarious to me. Like, they think it's bad, even though it's not. All right, where is this guy? Sounds like he's underneath. Oh, they're above. I hear them. Bro, screw this thing. I fucking hate this stupid... I hate this stupid sword, man. That stupid sword. That is the stupidest thing that they ever added to the game. Period. Is that stupid sword. I genuinely do not understand why they thought that was a good idea to add to the game. Like, actually. Is it still a black screen for everybody? No, it's not. Okay. I would say, arguably, this is probably the best experience I've had with Fortnite. So it's pretty good. I guess I could play the other game I usually always play. Just let me change the game real quick here. Gaming. None. It's still set it to Fortnite, even though I set to none. Gaming. There we go. And it's time to say goodbye. Welcome to us. Rip VOD. This VOD is gone. But that's alright. Mainly because copyrighted music. Dude, I don't know how to aim. At least not right now. It's hard. That's hard. Hard map. Ooh. That's a hard map, man. Woo! Not bad. Not bad. Oh, God. Well, I failed there. I love copyrighted music, don't you? How is that 160? That's kind of ridiculous, actually. Yay, I love copyrighted music. It means my channel go bye-bye if I even try to monetize this. I want to try out 37 for a second. Just to see how it is. It says 37. Feels pretty decent. How about the MS? How's the MS feel? Pretty low. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Okay, that's too slow. Me and my homies love copyrighted music. Yep. Do you change it every 10 minutes? I change it. I've been testing every couple of minutes just to see how it feels. Personally, 37 feels the best, 37 decimal, but I know for a fact that 38 decimal is like the universal number for everybody. It's just like the best. Either that or the default of 2. The default of 2 is also very good. Latency wise, 37 is where it's at, but if you want performance and latency, 38 is your friend. Actually, I have not tried 1A in a while. I don't know how 1A would perform. 1A is interesting. It's like an anomaly. 1A has like the second lowest latency that I've used. Honestly, I preferred 26 better. 1A has the lowest out of all of them, feel-wise. But again, I will always go with my tried and true of 38. Or in this case, 2. Because 2 is letting the operating system decide, and the Xbox game bar, which... honestly, it's really just up to feel. Like, whatever feels best to you. I just leave it at the default value most times. I don't ever change it. Because I let the game bar do all the work. So, the game bar is doing all of the work. Oof, man. My fingers just cannot, for the life of me, do that fast right now. Smooth. Scrolling feels pretty smooth. For the most part. Let's go back here. Let's try 16. I hear 16 is also good value. I go off of this chart here. Let me show you. There's a chart I use. This chart has been very helpful for me understanding the way that split threshold works. So let me show it to you. So this is XBit Labs, and they did a bunch of tests with SVC split threshold. And right here describes the best. So you want a PS ProSip process separation of at least 1. And you also want it to be, nowadays I would recommend either short variable or long variable. But no fixed. Fixed is just not good. Fixed sucks compared to what it used to be. So the current one that I'm using is 22, which is long and variable. So that would be right here, decimal 22. The ideal would be 38, which is short variable. Which is why I was using it. But lowest is definitely by far 36, which, if I remember correctly, 36 decimal is 24 hex. And that has the lowest latency out of all of them on paper. But it also doesn't have process separation at all. So it's just short and variable, and it's the lowest. I have yet to really test out this value, so I might try it out, actually. Just see how it feels. It's definitely low latency, I'll say that. It is extremely low latency. It doesn't feel as good, though, as some of those other numbers. Again, you got to experiment around, but I personally still believe, and I strongly affirm, that 38 is the best out of all of them. 38 is the best. Because it's a balance of process separation and latency. It's not the lowest on this chart, but it's pretty good. It's like the best balance of both worlds. Short and variable. I did test Fortnite earlier, and I still plan to test Fortnite more. I'm just taking a break with Osu. Damn. You know, at least this song isn't copyrighted, so I can play it as many times as I want. Damn, I suck. Gotta step up my game here. I suck. Oh yeah, Metal Crusher. I haven't played this in a long time. This is a fun map. Also, laptops generally have worse latency because they're optimized more for power saving than they are performance. So if you have a laptop, you're kind of just stuck. You know, that is hilarious, though, that I think about this. There was a time where Alienware released a desktop that had a laptop motherboard in it and a laptop, like everything was soldered. So when you would plug it into the wall, it would show up as a laptop and it would have a laptop battery icon, but you couldn't unplug it from the wall. Otherwise it would die. It's kind of funny. It's really funny, actually. Let's try the easier one, maybe. Damn, I suck. I will say this, though. Latency chasing is stupid, and I'm glad I stopped it. I just actually started playing games and enjoying them and, like, getting better at them. It just took time. Lots of time and effort. Oh, man, I sure do love aim slop. Bruh, that's kind of cringe. Actually cringe. You know what I also hate is YouTubers saying, look, use this power plan, use this power plan, use this power plan, use it. It's so much better than the balance program or balance power plan. No. I'm still using balanced and it runs great, has decent performance and excellent latency. No issues. And I'm sick and tired of people saying you need a power plan. You don't. Just let the damn operating system optimize your hardware. All right, we're going to go back to Fortnite now. So let me open up Fortnite again. And like, I can use performance mode on Fortnite, but it wouldn't look nearly as good. People just do not understand how hardware works, and it bothers me. You take enough features out of Windows, your hardware just doesn't work correctly anymore. Like it ceases to function the way it was meant to. And one of those things is the default Windows power plan and processor scheduling with the Xbox Game Bar. And a lot of people don't understand that the Xbox Game Bar is actually a part of the processor scheduling. It does give you the highest amount of FPS, performance mode does, but you don't get those crispy visuals, like just the nice looking visuals. And a lot of people actually don't know about this method that I'm about to show you to make your game look good and also perform decently. So there's a little known trick that not a lot of people know about. And it's that if you have a 1440p monitor, or I guess I can use a 4K monitor, for example, you can calculate what it goes down to. So like, for example, I have a 1440p monitor. 75% of that would be 1080p. So I am essentially running the game at 1080p, but I'm still using 1440p. So, and also a lot of people don't understand how frame pacing works in games. And they think that when they are getting those frame drops, it's related to something in the operating system when it's actually just the engine itself. It is the engine itself and the cap out of your hardware. So I'm lucky and fortunate enough to have decent enough hardware to run the game. In fact, I'm way more than fortunate. I have good amount of hardware to run this game. And if you look, check this out. Do you see how some of my CPU cores are parked right now? There's a reason for that. It's because it's actually doing it what it's supposed to. I bet you if I set this to high performance, though. If I set this to high performance, I bet you it would unpark those cores. Yeah, but now I got my virtual cores back. Set it to balanced. And my cores are not parked. They are not parked. Yeah, they're not parked. Okay, so isn't that interesting how when the game is running it doesn't park these cores, but then when I start running things it parks the cores. That's just how the default power plan in Windows behaves. Bet you if I opened up the game and then opened up Task Manager again, it would park my cores. No, it didn't actually. So that is definitely something to look at, I guess, if your cores are parking. But so Fortnite scales a lot differently than a lot of people think. And they think that it scales with hardware, which is true to an extent. But what they don't understand is that the engine you're using makes a huge difference. So basically, to explain it, DirectX 11 doesn't take full utilization of your CPU and the multi-threads and slams your GPU because that's how it was optimized. DirectX 12 utilizes multi-threading of your processor and your GPU. So you get extra performance, but you lose a little bit of FPS, but it's smoother. But if you go to, let's say, performance mode, that's also DirectX 11. That also uses the same premise where if you turn the graphics all the way down, you're shoving all that load onto your CPU rather than your GPU. You see now while I'm not doing anything, my cores get parked and then it uses my cores again. So like I'll go into the game here for a second and I'll like tab in, tab out, tab in, tab out, tab in, tab out, and then open Task Manager. And now my cores are going to not park. They're going to be parked and then unparked. But like if I start a CPU Z benchmark or something, they will unpark. I've just been doing this experiment where I take a look to see if my cores get parked if they're not being used, which is 100% true. So let me go ahead and hit bench real quick, hit stress CPU. And it appears it did not. Oh, there we go. Okay, now all my cores have woke up. They woke up from their slumber, which is what I want, what I expected. And core parking is good in a sense because it saves power, but it's bad in a sense because you get a little bit of a latency hit from it. Personally, I don't care. I haven't really noticed that much of a difference with it on or off. For the 5700X3D, all I did was just increase my base clock to 3.6 in the BIOS. So I just took it and I took it from 3, because 3 gigahertz was way too low. Like, it is abysmal that CPU even has a base clock speed of 3 gigahertz. So I took it and I changed it to 3.6 gigahertz. Now, some BIOSes don't let you do that, but if you're on an ASUS BIOS, it does let you do that, and it lets you increase the base speed, which helped a lot with my like latency and performance, increasing the base speed to 3.6 gigahertz. The premise of the processor, on the other hand, I also undervolt it because it was getting really hot. And I use a special program called PBO Tuner 2. And what you do is you take your preferred cores, or like your fastest cores. So you open up Ryzen Master and then you check which are your best cores and you give those the least amount of offset. So like minus 15, but you give all the other cores minus 30 so that you get the most boost speed out of your processor, but the lowest temperatures. And you can't really adjust any of the other stuff in here. I tried. You can't get maximum boost clock. You can't really increase any of these other things. You can only really increase the offset of the cores. And there's a tutorial online. Just look up PBO tuner, PBO2 tuner tutorial, and then 5700X 3D or 5800X 3D, and then follow that. That's what I did. All right, back to Fortnite. Play one game. Did I set the game? I hope I set the game. I did set the game. Okay. I was like, wait, did I set the game? I did set the game. Okay. And here's the thing. If I were to go to my game capture scene, all right, my game capture scene, and turn on my face cam and my hand cam, I would have a lot higher of FPS. Because I am using the game capture rather than the display capture. So right now, you are watching my game capture rather than my display capture, which greatly improves my FPS a lot. So this is a direct game capture, and I'm getting 200 FPS, and the game feels awesome. It feels very responsive. Again, I'm only rendering at 1080p. I am not rendering at 1440p because I lose FPS. Let's see, before I even get on the bus, I'm going to set it so that I have a pinpoint right there, because that is where the train will be. So the train is going that way. So if I drop here, I should be able to run into the train. Where's the train? I just want to run into the train, so I don't want anything else. Obviously, I'm going to have some problems with people coming here. I'm probably going to die right away. We're going to find out. There's some good stuff in the train station, though, dude. The train station is slept on. It's slept on so hard. Gotta have a weapon because there's going to be people coming in here eventually. Looks good. Looks good. Oh, sweet. I already have a scoped. Damn. That's going to help a lot. This game is better because I have scoped. All right. The train is heading this way. Somebody is on that train, bro. Somebody is on that train. I may die in a second here. If I'm not careful, I may die. I'm hiding. There's a reason I hid, because They are going to have way better weapons than me. And I do not want to die this early. I would much rather survive longer. And, like, the game looks good. And it's... Yes, it's a lower refresh rate than my monitor, but that doesn't matter because I have G-Sync. So... These are most likely bots. They sound like bots. Damn, bro. That sucks. Damn it. Well, I ran out of ammo and I still got all three of them. They're probably all bots, most likely. Every one of these is probably all bots. I would guarantee it, actually. Get rid of that. Get that. That's better. Okay. Ooh, that's even better. Okay. Anything better than that? Nope. Well, that sucks. You know, I really would prefer to use the scoped rifle, but if I use the scoped one, that's only a gray, and you don't get much damage with a gray compared to a blue. Ooh, but I did just get another scoped. I might throw out that one for the scope, bro. I like the scope. Ooh. Hello. Give me. Oh, yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good gun. Sure. I would have gotten a blue anyways. And now we're all kitted out, bro. I got everything I need. All right. Oh. There was somebody over there. Let us go investigate. And people don't realize, by the way, that if you have a modern PC, you should 100% be using DirectX 12 because it is so much better than DirectX 11 for like latency and taking advantage of your hardware. Yes, you get lower FPS. Yes, you will have to sacrifice FPS, but the overall experience, in my opinion, at least, actually, it's not even my opinion. It's the internet's opinion that DirectX 12 is better. It utilizes the hardware better by a ton. This is the first time, by the way, I've had sub 20 ping all day. So it's that time of day where I have really good ping, which is awesome because I usually don't get lower than 20 ping. So that means my game is very happy. %, shield. Don't mind if I do. Give me a shotgun. Did you give me a shotgun? No. Unfortunate. Thought that was a person, but it was a tree. The trees, they're speaking. What are they speaking? I don't know. Can you do Wi-Fi optimization? I did that a while back, but there's really not a whole lot that you can do to improve Wi-Fi. It really just depends on the environment that you're in and the router that you have. Because Wi-Fi is variable. So no matter what you do on your computer, there's always going to be interference from other devices around or other things that use the same frequency band. And there's always going to be variance from the literal atmosphere that the router is in. So, like, I'm talking sometimes if you have it located in, like, the middle of your living room, well, there could be a million devices connected in that living room. And you know what? I'm going to replace the shotgun with the blade because the blade is so much better. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. I guess my best tip can be just play around with the positioning of your router and use a Wi-Fi analyzer app to see how many networks are around your area and use the channel that's least occupied. That will generally give you the best Wi-Fi performance. So if you're in a, let's say, an apartment complex or an area that has a lot of Wi-Fi networks, for that you would want to use a channel that is not really being utilized, or you can take one step further and most likely all those routers are either stock routers from the ISP that they're using or like cheap routers because obviously rent is expensive. And you can get a router that has brand new technologies and uses like Wi-Fi 6E with like sub frequencies and fancy tech like that. And you will have a better chance at getting a good Wi-Fi signal and like not as much signal variance if you have different technology compared to the routers around you and the devices around you. It's all in variance. If you have a lot of devices that are around you that are on the same spectrum, then you're going to have really bad ping and lots of lag spikes and buffering. Or your router is going to be constantly compensating for that, which a lot of them by default are set to auto. So the automatic settings on the router just pick the best channel, and that usually isn't the best channel, and it's just searching and finding the best frequency at that time. It changes from day to day. But in general, I would recommend just if you have an Android phone, download a Wi-Fi analyzer app. Or if you have a Windows computer, a Windows laptop, you can use a Wi-Fi analyzer app and just walk around. And like if there's a lot of Wi-Fi networks around your area, like I said, just go into your router settings, change the Wi-Fi channel to the least used channel or the least common channel that you see in that list. Mac does it for you. So if you have a Mac that runs Mac OS, you can use the network troubleshooter, and then you can find a section where that gives you network stats, and then it gives you the best Wi-Fi channel available in your area for both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. On the new Apple Silicon laptops, you can actually get better than that. Ooh. Take that. I'm not really sure where this circle guy is, but he may absolutely destroy my butt. So I gotta... Oh, yep, there he is. Oh, damn. He's got a really good gun. That is a really good gun. What gun is that? Show me the gun. Bro, that does not even look pro at all. They're missing like 90% of their shots. Hold on a minute. I want to watch this. They're missing like 90% of their shots. Like they don't know what they're doing. Controller player. I can tell by the movements. It's a controller player. You just missed somebody. They're right there on the hill. Hello? They're right there on the hill. Are you stupid? Yeah, they're going to come and get you. My God, this person is so dumb. And that's who got me? What? You're joking me, bro. That is a joke. That is a literal joke. And this is why you can't play this game for fun. I got 100 V-Bucks. Oh, let's go. 100 free V-Bucks. What can you buy with 750 V-Bucks? I think the answer is nothing. Personally, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but all that exit lag is doing is just two things. Let me show you. Let me go to my desktop capture. Hold on. So all it's doing is taking this. Okay, I don't have Wi-Fi enabled on here because I use Ethernet, but I guess I could enable it again. Yeah, I'll enable it. Just got to make sure that my hotspot is off on my phone because I was using my hotspot to do some testing with my hotspot. So as long as that's off, I can turn Wi-Fi on. So let me do that real quick. So let me go ahead and enable this just so I can show you. Let's just make sure that the Wi-Fi is turned off because I will not be using that. Is it off? Good. Okay. So here is the Wi-Fi properties. Now, what exit lag is doing, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is literally all it's doing. It's turning off power management. It's turning off all the power saving features in your Wi-Fi settings. It is making it so that your throughput is on, like your throughput booster, and it's turning off all that wake stuff. And then on top of that, it also changes the game server in your game to the region that has the lowest ping. And also, it benchmarks the DNS servers and changes the DNS servers of your computer. So, for example, I'm using 1.1.1.1. So when I do a ping or whatever, it does a ping to that server, and then it just sets all that. All exit lag is doing is just optimizing network settings to get you the lowest ping, both in-game and in general. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is what it is doing. And it isn't doing anything else. And anybody who says differently is just a placebo effect. So, well, I tested every one of the games I wanted to test today, so I don't think there's really a point in me staying live. I also answered all the questions that I wanted to answer, so yeah. If you haven't already, use the link in the description to join my Discord. We have a lot of cool people here, and you can ask questions and stuff like that, and I'm always active here. I'm always active. So if you want to talk to me or just talk in general to the tweakers and people in here who are actually knowledgeable about tech and stuff, including myself, join the Discord. It's a link in the description. So, is PBO enabled enough, or do I need a curve? So, you can use a curve. I use a curve, but my processor doesn't actually get PBO because it's a X3D processor. So I have to do a manual curve using an application called PBO Tuner. And, well, I just figured out my limits. So No, it shouldn't matter. All right, back to PBO. So basically, PBO is it's up to you if you want to use it. I would recommend it because it is good for your processor and good for your temperatures. Like for example, it lowered my temperatures by about 10 to 12 C. Yes, if you are overheating, your processor could be throttling. If I were you, I would do some testing. So like I would download a program like Cinebench R23. So like right here, Cinebench R23, and then run a benchmark with hardware info open and run a custom benchmark or an advanced benchmark and turn off the 10-minute throttling test. And just check to see if your processor is overheating. So mine is tuned, so I know it won't overheat. It may cause my stream to drop frames, but I know it won't overheat. I can run a Cinebench and it will only get up to about 70C or so. It's very small and like it doesn't really affect my performance that much. So, and that's also part of the PBO offset that I'm using. Lowers the voltage so that I can get a better temperature. Okay, so if you're not overheating, then most likely I would have to say that it is a deeper issue, like maybe possibly a RAM issue. If you say your whole operating system is freezing, or just is it your whole computer or just the game? Because if it's just the game, then most likely it's probably just whatever they call that, processor overhead. Give me 1 second. It's only for processors that do not have access to PBO tuner or performance optimizer curve in the BIOS. And it's only really recommended to use PBO2 tuner for the X3D processors that don't allow you to optimize it in the BIOS. And that's all this program is really for. Or it's for laptops that have no control over precision boost. But if you're on a Ryzen laptop, I would actually recommend using a program called x86. X86 tuner utility. So if you're on a laptop that is Ryzen, I'd recommend using a program called x86 tuning utility. And they have a profiles preset, and you can do pre-made. Yeah, it's the pre-made section. I use this on my laptop, and it makes a huge difference if you're on a laptop, specifically Ryzen laptop though, specifically Ryzen. So you can go to the pre-made profile and then just select one of the pre-made profiles, or you can custom tune it yourself on the laptop and set it to be enabled. And it makes a pretty huge difference, like significantly huge difference, especially on mobile Ryzen chips. So I would recommend this program if you're on a Ryzen laptop. But if you're on a desktop, use the Precision Boost Overdrive in your BIOS and then do a curve optimization. Voltage offset is not, if you have a newer processor, that does not work anymore. So after the 3000 series, AMD made it so that if you use a voltage offset, it actually doesn't work anymore. So if you're in the BIOS and you have a voltage offset, your processor will not have, it will not apply that offset, and it'll actually make it so that your voltage, your core voltage, is higher than what it should be. And the right way to do it is to use curve optimizer. So if you use curve optimizer, it works a lot better, in my personal opinion. So PBO and curve optimizer go hand in hand together. Usually there's a tab here for curve optimizer, but again, my processor doesn't support it technically, so I have to use the program PBO Tuner 2 in order to do that. But it's in here in Ryzen Master, and then you just run it with single core and let it run. But if you said it's unstable in general, then most likely PBO is causing the issue. And I would experiment around with using the auto setting, so like just the default that your processor uses, and see if you still have that issue with PBO on auto in the BIOS. But if you don't have that issue, then most likely it was PBO to begin with, and you might just have a bad silicone chip, which is unfortunate because that does happen from time to time. You will get a chip that cannot handle PBO offsets or cannot handle excessive PBO boost. And that was the case with my 5600X. I was able to get my core clock up to 4.8 gigahertz on my 5600X, but then shortly after, it became unstable and I wasn't able to use it anymore. And if you're asking, by the way, a lot of people ask me, why do you let your cores sleep? Why do you let them do that? Why not? If the processor doesn't have a need to use all of those cores, why keep them enabled? Like, for example, I'm not playing games. I'm just showing you the desktop. I can use only 2 cores to do that, and my power draw is going to be a lot less at idle. So that is why I allow my processor to sleep. And it will unsleep and it will unpark itself whenever I'm doing a task that requires power. Again, it's probably not related to the processor itself. It's most likely related to the actual setting itself. Or it could be something in your system is causing stability issues. 9 times out of 10, it is RAM. So if you are having stability issues, it could be RAM. It's really just up to, there's a lot of variables and a lot of factors, but like, in my personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion and experience because I had helped my friend build a brand new Ryzen 7000 build, RAM caused instability issues with his 7600X, and he also had a 7600X. And basically, it's just a lottery. You kind of have to play around with all your settings. I would start with auto settings as a base in the BIOS, just like everything on auto except for XMP. So like just turn on XMP, or I guess, what do they call that? They call it, what is the AM5 name for that? AM5 XMP Expo. They call it Expo. So you can just use default settings and like default PBO. When I use 100% on my CPU in power settings and start playing, it will restart because of temp. What can I do? So your processor is overheating. That is something that happens from poor cooling abilities. And it could be your cooler that is causing the issue, or it could just be the CPU itself, because some CPUs run hotter than others. And generally running a CPU, some CPUs that run hotter than others tend to have performance issues. So my recommendation is to just check your temps using a program like hardware info 64 and just check your temperatures. You've changed your cooler 3 times now, but your PC still restarts. There may be an underlying issue with, like I said, with the actual like system itself causing an issue. Are you going to do an updated guide soon? I want to do an end game because everybody is sick. I'm sick and tired of the comments. It's not what I do anymore. I'm not the guy who latency chases and like wants to improve latency anymore. I just use my computer and I get rid of like the basics and do tweaking in BIOS, and that's really about it these days. I don't really touch that much in Windows. I really don't understand why people think they need to go to those extremes to like totally cripple your operating system. Like, for God's sakes, I still use Game Bar. Like, here, take a look. I'll open up my file explorer and then let me go to Game Bar. I still use Game Bar because it's a part of scheduling. So processor scheduling uses the Game Bar. A lot of people don't understand that. And then they delete the Game Bar and then they have worse performance. And they don't realize it. I didn't realize it at the time. So yeah, that's why I do that. Let's see here. Can I use this PBO program and be useful for my problem? I would just start with checking your temperatures under a load. So like making sure that your temperatures don't go crazy when you're under a load. If you're saying it crashes instantly when you do a load, more than likely that is due to temperature or something else. It does not show them. Well, then, did you launch hardware info, but then not click sensors only? Because when you launch hardware info without clicking sensors only, you get this screen. So you need to reopen hardware info and then click on sensors only. So you click sensors only here and then launch it again and ignore this screen here. And then if one of these is, you click here and you find the CPU tab, and then you scroll until you find your CPU temperatures. So the new NVIDIA driver sucks. A lot of people have been complaining, and including myself, and it's no secret, NVIDIA just does not care anymore. It's just they do not really care anymore. You take a look here at the newest driver that was just released. Let me turn off Dark Reader. So this is the newest driver that was just released, 5.572.16. Actually, I might turn on Dark Reader. I like actually having my website be dark. And if you scroll down and take a look at their fixes, so they fixed G-Sync compatible monitors flickering. That's a nice fix. They fixed the micro stutters for Indiana Jones and improved the stability of Ubisoft games. But if you take a look at all of these open issues, man. They just do not care anymore. Holy moly. A Phantom 2 processor. Wow. That is a really old processor. How old is that? That reminds me of the good old days. Is it how old? A 2010 processor. It's a 6-core CPU. Wow. This is a really old processor. Holy cow. That's crazy. I can't believe there's a chatter in here that's using a processor that was made almost 15 years ago. Wow. That is wild. That is wild. You know, I would imagine it's probably just the age of the processor, man. It's just the age of the processor. It doesn't have like the modern instruction sets, and it doesn't have the power, and it's degrading over time because a lot of people don't understand about silicone and the way it works. Over time, it slowly degrades the older it gets and eventually just dies. That's just the way it works. So this processor being this old, it probably is on its last legs. And the Phantom was not a very sought after processor. So it's a pretty old processor. Also, man, only 6 megabyte of level 3 cache. That's rough. That makes sense why you can't really run that many things off of it. And I don't think this even supports modern instruction sets. I'm pretty sure this supports like ancient sets of like instruction sets. What is the instruction sets? What is the instruction set that this CPU can support? Wow. Holy cow. That is a lot of unsupported instruction sets. Holy moly. Yeah, it kind of makes sense why this processor is kind of lacking. It just lacks modern features and is very, very slow by today's standards, which is probably why you're having so many issues. And like I said, silicone degradation is a thing, and over time it will get worse. So the fact that it's 15 years old almost means that it's probably degraded over the years, or whoever used it last. Crix, I think that's how you say your name. Crix. I debloated my Windows, clean process lasso, and just debloated GPU drivers. I've literally gone mad with latency rabbit hole going down all these forums. I used to be that way. And then I discovered the magical ability of not giving a shit. It works. You just play the game and get better. What a concept. You don't chase latency and you actually get better at the game. What a concept. And like, as for Process Lasso, I stopped using Process Lasso because it actually was giving me worse performance, believe it or not. Now, it's good for latency. And the way I have the processor scheduling set up in my old video, that's good. It's just, personally, I noticed it was giving me performance issues when I upgraded to an X3D processor. So I stopped using it because I had an X3D processor. So my PC feels great when I first boot, but after 20 plus minutes, it feels delay and sluggish. Is that because you are talking about like games and stuff like that just feeling sluggish, or just the whole operating system? Because Windows 11 as a whole, it's kind of just feels bad. Like, and also a lot of people forget this when they build their computers, is that if you say it's feeling slow and sluggish, you go to the mouse settings, additional mouse settings, and turn off enhanced pointer precision. You really don't know how many people I've talked to that don't know about that. And then they're like, man, my mouse feels so much faster. Like, it works, but it also doesn't work. Like, it's another placebo thing. Personally, I just disable mouse acceleration because, like, I've done it for years now, and it feels fine. My games decrease in FPS. Well, that could be a number of things causing that. It depends really on the install you have. You can give me more details, and maybe I could talk about it, but that's up to you. Anyways, let's go through this list here of open issues with the new NVIDIA drivers. So you got Valorant crashing. You have third-party NVIDIA profile inspector crashing. You have issues with flickering. You have PC configurations with resizable bar may see performance regression. Yep. You got Vulkan apps have artifacts. This one really caught my eye. Was after letting display go to sleep for an extended period, driver may crash when waking up another monitor. This happened to me. So I uninstalled the driver and reinstalled the old one. Probably the worst one on this list, though, has to be Fortnite performance mode may crash when starting the game. And then the second one is PC has a not less or equal blue screen when HDR is enabled. People are not a fan of this driver, by the way. They hate it. Hate it. Also, this hotfix driver is a joke as well. This hotfix driver doesn't fix anything. None. You don't. Disabling Windows services doesn't do crap anymore. Believe me, I know, because I chased latency for years, and I'm running a basically stock version of Windows now. I have like almost nothing changed. Really, the only ones I disable these days are just connected user experiences and telemetry and like the stupid handwriting panel. And that's it, really. I don't really disable anything else. In the services, I just leave it. Because there's not really many services that you can disable, and people like get the wrong idea about services. I had the wrong idea about services back when I was first doing latency tweaking. I thought that services were like the reason why I was having a bad experience in Windows, when that was not the case. It was actually just the telemetry for like the operating system. So I'm talking about the privacy settings. So like if you go to here and then you go to diagnostics and feedback, the telemetry reporting, the diagnostics part of Windows is what slows Windows down the most. That, and obviously not being on like the latest Windows updates and stuff like that. For us users who are sticking out with 10, like I'm using 10 until the day it dies in October of 2025. I am literally using Windows 10 until it dies because I despise 11. I absolutely despise it. People say it's good. I don't like it personally, and that's my own opinion. But I just really dislike Windows 11. I tried it for a while, thought I liked it, but I don't like it anymore. What do you think about Reflex 2 coming to games soon? 50 series pay to win. That's what I think about Reflex 2. All those AI features are going to run better on the newer NVIDIA cards. So I have tons of crap open. So my processes is going to be in the hundreds. Process count doesn't matter. There's literally a whole forum post about this. I don't know how many times I have to point this out to people, but Chris made a video, Chris Titus Tech.
Process count doesn't matter by Zoozer. Well, I gotta say, lower number always better, right? I saw this article.
This guy was a literal Microsoft developer for years. He was on the Microsoft team and he knows what he's talking about. So he literally developed Windows and can tell you firsthand how it works.
Well,
So
immediately my knee-jerk reaction is just to be like, okay, obviously it matters, but
So if you go here to this list or this thing that he's talking about in the video, so it's years. Process count is misleading. So cycles data or whatever. He goes into a process about this. How can I check these? And then you check the cycles and all that. He goes into a summary about this. Just for the fun of it, I spawned 3,000 processes, and they did absolutely nothing but sleep, and my games ran fine. Process count does not matter. You don't need to turn off services and break functionality. Your games will still run good, even with a high process count. It's been proven time and time again, and I cannot believe how many people still believe that it matters. It does not matter. I am running a million things right now, and I could still probably get over 200 FPS in Fortnite. No problem. Or any game I play. And like all these things that are running in the background are just sleeping. They're not doing anything. All these apps that you see in here, a lot of them are just sleeping. Like the game bar is asleep. Gaming services are asleep. The Microsoft text input thing is asleep. The NVIDIA container is asleep. The print spooler is asleep. The search is asleep. They're just doing stuff. How is college doing? I am not going to college currently. I am possibly planning on going back again. I took a break for a while. Got a full-time job for 3 months back in 2024. That was good for a while. And then I decided to I had to part that job, unfortunately. And now I'm back here again, and I'm still trying to figure things out. Like, I need to keep applying for jobs until I can get a job again. And I've been slacking on that a lot lately, and I'm going to pick it up because I have a goal set in mind, at least a quota, I guess you can say, of finding a job before the school year starts again so I can save up a little bit of income before I go back to college. Windows 11, 10 is better. Can't go back to it. I'm on ReviOS. And what is your opinion on XOS? I don't like custom operating systems. There's your opinion. They can write off. And yeah, that. Literally just stop caring. Like, play your games, feel out your hardware. You're just placeboing yourself into thinking that your latency is terrible, when in reality it's probably fine. But this, I chase your RAM. Not much, but if you count, it takes more than 1 GB of RAM for useless functions. It's kind of broken English, but I understood that. If you're talking about useless processes taking RAM, that only really matters if you have like a very, very low count of RAM. So if you have 16 GB or more of RAM, you really shouldn't be worrying about RAM usage at all. Unless you're running games that take 10 or 15 GB of RAM, which are AAA titles, you really shouldn't be caring about RAM usage. I would say bare minimum for 2025 is 16 GB. 32 if you want to play AAA titles. So like bigger titles other than esports. And just 32 if you're doing a lot more than just gaming. You just need to make a tweaker and make it paid money. Yeah, no, I've thought about doing that for a while. I back when I was like in my prime, and I thought that tweaking and like having the lowest latency on Windows was like the hottest thing ever, and like I needed to do it. I debated charging people money for stat stuff, but I learned it's just a dumb rabbit hole, and people go down it all too much, and they forget the course of why they were originally trying to do that is to get better at the game, because they thought it was their computer giving them a disadvantage, when in reality it's just you didn't take the time to practice and get used to your own hardware. So I just started playing games and stopped caring about my latency. And eventually I noticed, wow, suddenly I'm way better at these games and I don't really notice the latency anymore. But that also corresponds with me upgrading my hardware as well. So upgrading my hardware also made my latency better. And again, I'm just going to say it just flat out right, okay? Generally, 9 times out of 10, anybody who tells you, or you telling yourself, my latency is terrible, my mouse feels terrible, I'm missing all my shots, I can't hit anything in the game, I suck. You're making yourself this mindset that you suck because of something. And then your mind is the most powerful tool in your body. It can literally make you hallucinate. It can make you see something that it's absolutely insane. So like, if you say I have an insane amount of input delay and you think that in your head, your brain will make that a reality. It's crazy, but it's true. It's psychology. It's the human mind. And I just stopped caring. And I all of a sudden, out of nowhere, everything felt fine again. An i5 10500, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a GTX 1050. That i5 10500 could easily handle up to... it could easily handle probably up to a 20 or a 30 series card. No problem. Does BIOS tweaking matter? Yes. I would argue that hardware tweaks will always outdo software tweaks. For example, if I open up PBO Tuner 2, this is a tuning utility meant specifically for the 5700X3D and the 5800X3D that allows you to undervolt the processor to get better temps and keep the clock speeds up, because it doesn't let you do that on these processors because of the X3D V-cache. So I use that. And then also my memory, I turn off power down mode and gear down mode, because those two settings affect latency a lot. Now, I can open up IDA here for a second, and I'm streaming, so it's not going to be like the lowest latency out in the world, but it will still be something. So let me just go ahead and show you. I'm just going to do latency. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm only going to do latency, just to show and prove a point. This usually takes a while. This benchmark is a very slow benchmark. And this is just a baseline, by the way. It doesn't tell you exactly what your latency is. It's about 96 nanoseconds, but that's because I'm doing things. When I have this set like at idle doing nothing, usually it's around like 67, 69 nanoseconds. And guys, we're talking nanoseconds here. The human eye can't even see in nanoseconds. The human eye can only see in milliseconds. So you're talking this. So you know the human benchmark here? This is the human benchmark test. So if you click this, too soon. I was looking at chat, but your eyes see in milliseconds. So that's why monitor milliseconds matters or whatever a lot of people say. But in my personal opinion, 144 is fine. Like anything above 120, you're kind of just going into placebo territory, really. Like 480 hertz feels nice. I wish I could afford a 480 hertz monitor someday, but do I need to push that many frames? No. No, I do not. I'm not sure how to tweak my BIOS. I don't got XMP or anything. Should I update my BIOS? If you're on a pre-built, sometimes those pre-built motherboards are locked down and they don't let you do nearly as much. Nice computer, but can it beat Goku? No, probably not. Funny joke, though. Very funny joke. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much reaching my end of my points here. There's not really a whole lot. It's like I have a folder, all right? I have a folder, okay? This is my folder. It's that tiny. You look at all those other YouTubers who do tweaks and stuff like that. Their folders have like subfolders and like an insane amount of tweaks in folders. Like, this is it. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all I use today. All of it. And that isn't even including Chris Titus utility. Chris Titus Tech's utility. I use his utility also. So 8 tweaks. That is all I do anymore. I do not touch anything else. And that's it, really. Mainly because it's placebo. It's really just placebo. Most of the time it's placebo. And I've focused on doing other things, like actually improving at the games I play, rather than focusing on stupid input delay that doesn't exist. How many MS lag can you reduce by good optimization? It depends on PC, but it's really just dependent on the hardware. It's really just dependent on the hardware. Software can only get you so far. Like, you can tweak Windows down to be extremely low. Like, there's a Windows 11 Lite ISO. All right? And you take a look at the images. Windows 11 Lite uses 300 megabyte of RAM. Like, it's insane. You take a look at it, and like, I looked at this, and Windows 11 Lite is actually insane. You take a look at how much RAM it uses, and it's like tiny. Everybody's like sought after this ISO because it's the best. Like, it's tweaked and it's like the best with the lowest amount of processes and the lowest amount of everything. But really, there's just not a whole lot of difference. Also, you guys like my thumbnail? I made that in about 2 minutes for this stream. It's a very funny thumbnail. Testing my system live. Latency and performance tuned. I spent 2 minutes making this thumbnail. All of 2 minutes. But yes, the light version is meant for like hardware that can hardly run it. Like this person who has a 15-year-old Dell laptop. Average flame thumbnail. Nah, I would say I've gotten a lot better at making thumbnails. over the years. I would say I've gotten a lot better at making thumbnails. Also, why don't we go through the history of my setups? So here you got my setups. Let's just make sure these go in order. They do go in order. Okay. So this is the first ever PC setup I had. Isn't that crazy? So this is my first ever PC setup. It's better than a lot of people. Like, honestly, what they start. Like, I had a second monitor, some quirky RGB lights, a crappy laptop that was like some dual core with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that was it. This was the second setup I ever had. PC case is introduced, and this is like an actual PC. And I had a dual monitor setup and somewhat of a setup. It's just very unorganized and low budget. Like, I'm using a free monitor here, free mouse pad, and I'm using like these LED strips with a camera for lighting, and it wasn't very great. And my PC specs at the time were an i5 4570 with 4 cores and 4 threads, and a GTX 660 Ti with 2 gigabytes of VRAM and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And that was the first PC that I ever built. Then you have the evolution of that same setup. So this is the same setup, except now I have a better camera, same mouse pads, same free stuff, TV as the second monitor. I have a better microphone now, same PC, same amount of RAM, 8 gigabytes of RAM, same specs. Then we go to iteration 3. This is iteration 3. This is probably the biggest upgrade I got for my setup, which was a Ryzen, like, I redid all the specs in there. It had a Ryzen 7 2700X in it. And it also still had the 660 Ti, but that only lasted for about a month. And then after that, I got the GTX 1660 from EVGA. And that thing is a beast. That thing lasts me, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years before I got a new GPU. I used that GPU for so long, and it was a beast. And that was my setup for a while, was 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 2700X, and the GTX 1660. This was the final iteration of the Flame setup. I call this peak setup before I had to move it out of my room or out of the basement, because obviously my parents wanted to do something else with the basement. And when you live here, you kind of have to make sacrifices. So I had to move this setup into the basement, from the basement into my room. And unfortunately, some sacrifices had to be made. And it didn't look so great. This was peak, though. This was the absolute peak of my setup. Like, I didn't get any better than this. This was peak. And it looked beautiful. And I was rocking that old TN 144 hertz panel for a long time. But now we have evolved to a better setup. So the way it looks now is confusing. So there's 2 iterations of my setup, okay? All right, hold on. Whoops, kind of spoiled it a little bit, but let me find the old photo of my setup when I first moved it in. So, all right, here we go. So this is what the setup looked like when I first moved it from the basement. Yeah, it was really crowded. Like, really crowded. It's a little bit crowded, as you can tell. It's a little bit crowded. So what I did instead is I moved that third monitor because I'm like, I don't really need a third monitor anymore. I'm fine with two. So these two monitors are here still. And I stuck with this for a really long time. The two monitors and the boxes to hold up my monitor because I didn't have a monitor arm. And that worked for a while. But now we have evolved to this. This is Flame Setup 2025. This is my setup now in 2025. And I should have started with this a long time ago. So I now have a monitor arm, cable management, and it's just so much cleaner than it used to be. Like, so much cleaner. Incredibly clean for what it is. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I have really enjoyed the way that this setup is. It's worked great for me. Still works great for me. And I wouldn't change it at all. No, in fact, it is a completely different mouse. Let me get you the mouse model because a lot of people think it's a high-end mouse, but really it's not. It fools a lot of people. They think it's a really good mouse. They think it's this mouse. Hold on. They think it's this mouse. So they think it's this mouse here. Let me go to docs here. Let me go to docs. So in reality, just give me 1 second while I get rid of the things that'll dox me. Because I really don't want to get doxxed. I'm not about to get doxxed. All right, there we go. Any information that would dox me is now gone. So everybody thinks that it's this mouse right here. They think it's an Air 58 Ultra Sunset. They think it's an Air 58 Ultra Sunset. Everybody thinks it's this mouse whenever I show it to them. They all think, and it looks exactly the same. There's no difference between this mouse and the mouse that I bought, including the sensor. And do you want to know how much I bought this mouse for? It'll make your mouth drop. This is an Amazon D10 Pro RGB lightweight gaming mouse, PWM 1200 DPI optical sensor, lightweight honeycomb shell, ultra light, ultra wave cable for laptop, PC, Xbox, PS4, Switch, gamer, fits 65 gram orange black. And it uses a 1000 hertz sensor. And oh, would you look at that? It looks exactly the same as this mouse, but all they do is slap a logo on it. I bought this mouse for $20. $20. And it performs and looks the exact same as this mouse. And there's no difference between the two of them. Discernibly. They look exactly the same. You say the sensor is really bad, but I can do flicks just fine. Like, I have had no issues. Mouse tester. Mouse tester software. Mouse software tester. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Let's do a quick test. Let's see how bad the dropout rate is. I haven't done this in years, bro. I haven't done this in years. I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, shit. Whoops. All right, let's take a look and analyze this. It's been a long time since I've done this. I don't even know what I'm looking at, to be honest. Most of the time, it actually does still hit 1,000 hertz. In fact, I think this is it's a little too big. There really isn't a whole lot of data I can interpret here. It hits 1,000 hertz all the time, so there is not really anything I can see inherently wrong with this. I mean, damn, that looks pretty on point to me. It's bang on 1,000 hertz most of the time. Frequency looks pretty good. I mean, the interval isn't all over the place. Looks pretty decent. You said the sensor would always cut off when flicking. That's weird. Because I've never had that issue. And this mouse has been great ever since I've done it. Let's play Roblox. And play my other favorite game. Where is it? Here. Just to show and prove a point about flicking. I just want to prove a point about flicking. Is the game opening? Hello? Like they say this, like you say this mouse is crap and the sensor is crap, but I've never had a problem with it. Ever. Like once. All right, let's play my favorite Roblox game right now. Riot Fall. So this game is a direct ripoff of Call of Duty, but in Roblox. And it is my favorite. It is exactly like Call of Duty, but in Roblox. And it runs phenomenal. All right, let's do flicks. Ready? Here's flicks. Flicks. Yeah, it's not cutting out either. Yeah, it doesn't cut out at all. It doesn't cut out whatsoever. It feels great. Damn it. Killing spree. Let's go. Almost. Like 4 or 5 things. All right, let's set the quality a little bit lower. There, my responsiveness is back. Actually, this feels worse. It doesn't even feel like I'm hitting 60 FPS. Let's go back to automatic. Just go back to automatic. Wow, it's a 4v7. This is so unfair. This is legitimately so unfair. This is the most unfair, like, game I've ever been in. Nice. All right, all right. That was dumb. I don't know why I jumped a bunch. I should have just stayed. I'm playing like a bot. I'm being dumb and stupid. Ah. Not really. I don't really feel like it. I just went on a rant earlier about latency, about how people care too much about it and you should just try and get better at your games instead of chasing latency and blaming your hardware. Unless you have a legitimate, like, actual low-end computer, there's really not a need to optimize. If your hardware is good enough, then you really don't need to optimize. Nice. Ah. I don't really do those on live streams. I kind of just went through a huge rant earlier. So you can scroll back if you want to in the VOD and look. But I went on a huge rant about latency. And I explained a bunch of things. So if you would like to learn about it, you can scroll back and look back in the VOD. Oh my God, dude. 19-7, huh, on the other team? Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure. Sure, buddy. Sure. Sure, buddy. Sure, buddy. Sure. Oh, nice. Okay, I'm 14 and 11. That's better. That's better. I was expecting worse. That's actually not too bad. Where was that guy? 26 and 8? Bruh, I need to step up my game. Holy crap. These people not know? Are they stupid? I don't think they understand. Motherfucker. Okay. I got 50 assists. I'll take it. Nice reaction time. Oh, I almost had him. 1 KD's terrible, bro. I need to step my game up. Oh, I joined a losing match too. Come on. Okay, so the person who got 31 and 9 is an absolute demon. I don't know what kind of stuff they were using, but obviously it was better than me. I like how the game is or that my live stream is complaining that I have bad latency and that it's disconnecting when in reality it's not. Hello? Yeah, it's doing fine. I'm streaming at 1440p. It's doing fine. Okay, I would rather choose... screw it. Everybody's choosing Motel. Let's see what happens if I try to run the game at the lowest graphical setting possible. Oh, God. That looks terrible. That looks so terrible. Oh, my God. But does it run better? We're going to find out. Here we go. Oh, yeah, way better. The game looks like absolute garbage, though. It looks terrible. But it runs good. So. I got first kill, baby. Let's go. That's how I like it. I like it like that. Hey, what's that sound? Give me assist, bitch. Come on. I got him anyways. Ha, we traded. Take that. Take that. We traded. We traded. They're all hiding. They don't want to be found. Bruh. This is actually a fun game. It's really fun. Oh, I'm tipping the edge with that one. That was a close one. Got him. Not too shabby. They must be above. Oh, I almost had him. They duck whenever they get shot at. Is that like a legitimate strat? Maybe. Who knows? Wow. That was so terrible. Oh my god. How did I get that bad? That should not have even been a kill. That should have been a death. I missed like every shot. Wow. Mm-hmm. My kill, not yours. Mine, not yours. Oh, that was a teammate. 3 in a row. Man, what? That's crazy. All right, shoot the UAV, baby. It's all right. That UAV is gonna give me. It's gonna give me some kills. UAV inbound. I don't know if that UAV is gonna kill anybody though. All right, I'm just gonna set my game back to automatic. Where is it? Nice. Maybe this is how you play the game. Hold on. I think I just figured out how to get rid of recoil. That's huge if true. Wow, you couldn't even get your own teammate like that? I'm 14-6. I'm actually doing better than the other guy. KD wise. Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty even with the other guy. He's just got 22 and I've got 14. Nice. Nice. Dude, how did I miss those shots? That's ridiculous. That is absurd. I shouldn't have missed those. Fine, screw you. Really, bro? Really? Ah, I didn't have enough time to reload. Man. They're camping in there. Really, dude? Okay. Okay. Pretty good game, honestly. I'd recommend it if you like Call of Duty, try Riot Fall. It's a very fun game on Roblox. I think that's going to do it for today. All right. Thanks to everybody who tuned in and talked with me. Appreciate it. I am going to go ahead and go now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, I appreciate everybody who watched. See ya. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, I appreciate everybody who watched. See ya.